What are the odds that Harden gets dealt soon? We keep talking about it every day on this show, I feel like.
That's funny. It's like, man, what a bright spot James Harden's been. Let's see where he could go next. J James obviously has a history of being in playoffs, not being in the playing tournament, and more specifically to this Clippers team, not being in situations where he sees it declining sharply and he gets the heck out of it. You've seen before when he left OKC, like OKC never made it back to the finals until last year. He leaves Houston, they go on a 3-year run of the worst team in the league. Leaves Brooklyn, you see where they are at now. Leaves Philly, you saw Philly last year. You see the Sixers or the Clippers this year. I would say that because he and Kawhi are healthy, I think those talks are not happening right now. But uh, it only takes like I don't know another stretch of losing 15 out of 20 games, which is what they started this year with, to have reality set in and say like you're playing this well and you don't only have so much time, and those talks could happen. I would say MLK weekend. So. I anticipate James being on the Clippers with Kawhi and helping them trying to turn this thing around as guys get healthier. But if they are like 20 games under 500, then I do think that both sides would mutually agree to look and see how to make the most out of a horrible situation.
I mean, you said it's a bad situation. The Clippers are 6-18. They've lost seven of their last eight. And you pointed out on Twitter that the Clippers in quote unquote clutch time are 2-9, tied for the worst record in the league, tied with the Pelicans. And anytime you're tied with the Pelicans for anything, you know it's probably not great. So, how safe is Ty Lue's job security, understanding how bad the start has been for the Clippers season?
Yeah, I think a lot of fans are used to seeing coaches get fired for less. And this is an organization that has been preaching stability for a long time. And Tyronn Lue has the contract and the vote of confidence from everybody whom it matters to suggest that he's going to see this season through and be a part of whatever happens with the next roster. We just got finished talking about James Harden. James can be a free agent this offseason. Kawhi has 1 year left on his deal after this season, and we don't know what Kawhi's contract status will be when the NBA is done with this investigation that y'all might have heard of. So, Tyronn Lue is looked at as an asset overall. I don't think he's been an asset this year for the LA Clippers. Like the record speaks for itself. Like we don't even need to get into any complicated situational records. Like their record overall is bottom five in the NBA right now for a team that doesn't have a pick next year. And really, that's what I'm looking at. It's like you can change the front office or the head coach. I mean, are you getting the best candidate to replace either one of them? Like what general manager? I mean, under with the understanding that the job is the job. It's great to have any of these jobs in the NBA, especially one based in Los Angeles, but what are you signing up for trying to run a team that doesn't have control of a first round pick for the rest of this decade? And same thing with the head coaching position. I think the Clippers are very well aware that, Tyronn Lue has the biggest brass in the entire organization as far as what he's done as a player and what he's done as a head coach. And you're not getting any real improvement on that.
So let's look at the other LA team. I know we never talk about the other LA team, the Lakers. Not sure if anyone's heard of them. LeBron's double-digit scoring streak ended last week. We talked a lot about it on this show. But then all of a sudden, in the 112-108 win, he goes off for 29, big down the stretch. Are you surprised to see that version of LeBron still in the tank?
No, I'm not surprised. Like it's been 23 years. Like that's why we make a big deal out of any time that LeBron has a night like Toronto, or more relevantly, a night like Phoenix. Like the streak should have ended Monday night when they lost to the Suns and got blown out, and Bron was still in there hunting, shots to extend the streak. Then, like that was really the sign where it's like, oh, Bron had a game off and he still came out and didn't really have it. So like, you know, we expect him honestly to play like he played Sunday in Philadelphia and to have the impact that he had while he was missing shots in Toronto. That's the LeBron that is making the money that he's making, that has a reputation that he has. I'm not going to be surprised or shocked when LeBron James still plays like LeBron James. Like the news is the other way around. You know, the man biting the dog is when he doesn't score, when he doesn't make shots, when he doesn't win, when he doesn't positively impact his team. You're gonna have to just balance everything. The good when he wins, the bad when they win, the bad when they lose, and him not playing at all because he's 40 years old.
So then, based on the body of work you've seen so far this year from LeBron, what do you think the realistic ceiling is for the Lakers?
I think the ceiling for them is to be able to win one or two playoff series. Like the Lakers are winning close games. They are undefeated in clutch time. They are undefeated when they're up through three quarters of games. That's a team that you can look at the issues, and the issues are profound when it comes to depth and defense. Like they don't have a lot of bench scoring support, and they don't have a defense that makes you think they can really beat the best of the best in the West, but they've got three of the best guys ever, in terms of this season and the past, combining that, they have three really good on-ball players, and that's going to be tough to deal with in the regular season, and it's going to be tough to deal with in the playoffs.
Okay, so let's stick on this game, but let's look on the other side of it. LeBron went off. Joel Embiid, on the other hand, was 4 of 21 from the field. You mentioned on Twitter that he can't even dunk anymore. Is Joel Embiid washed?
I hate to say it, but I mean, that's what it looks like. Your center shouldn't be shooting 40% from the field, and that's where Joel is right now. When I said he can't dunk, that wasn't just anecdotal. Like, you can go and clip this show, and if he has a dunk this season, y'all can include it. Like, you haven't seen it, you know? I mean, I was watching him actually get some steam to the rim, and then he smoked the layup, and I'm like, Joel dunks that even 2 years ago, you know. Like Joel does a good job drawing fouls, and honestly, I do think that he's a settling presence for the Sixers overall offensively, but he's inefficient on his own, and everything looks like a chore as far as him moving.
So now what for Philly?
You pray that Tyrese Maxey holds up. You got two guys making a ton of money over the age of 30 who can't create offense for themselves. That's just what it is for the Philadelphia 76ers.
All right, that's doom and gloom. What about the Celtics? We were down on the Celtics coming in this year, but are we sleeping on Boston right now?
I was down on the Celtics too. I think the biggest thing is Jason Tatum's out, but everyone else has been reasonably healthy, and Jaylen Brown has been outstanding as far as the scoring load, and everybody else around him. I mean, Joe Mazzulla has put those guys in position to succeed. He's done an outstanding job as head coach. Jalen is the only guy on that team allowed to turn the ball over. So everybody else takes care of the ball, gets good shots. And they found a pretty good starting center solution. I think Quaid done a really good job holding them down there. The Celtics are not a good defense this year. They've been a good defense in years past because they had the personnel and the depth to be a good defense. They only defend well about, when Quaid is in the game pretty much, but they're doing a good job blowing teams out, getting off to great starts, and holding on for the most part.
Okay, so let's look at the Warriors. Steph Curry is set to return to practice as early as Wednesday per the team. So obviously getting Steph back is going to be a huge spark plug for this team. Do you think with Steph, this team can actually compete in an incredibly stacked West? And if not, what moves can they make and what moves are available to make them true contenders?
Well, they're the team everyone is chasing as far as the last playoff spot. I think you got seven teams in the West that are multiple games over 500, and then you got the Warriors who are just kind of scraping by. And a lot of that is Steph's health, but you have to anticipate that guys like Stephen Curry, Draymond Green, Jimmy Butler, guys playing at a high level are going to miss games. Then there's Al Horford, someone who's not playing at a high level and is new to the team and is older than all those dudes. He's dealing with sciatica as well. And not everyone's LeBron James dealing with sciatica. So the biggest move is obviously whatever happens with Jonathan Kuminga, a guy that only gets gassed up the way that he does because he plays for the Golden State Warriors. If it was anybody else, we be talking about Jonathan Kuminga like we talk about a whole lot of other, late lottery picks that are okay sometimes and not consistently impacting winning. The Warriors had to take him out the starting lineup. Kuminga's missed games with injury. Kuminga hasn't been good defensively. He's good at a lot of specific things, but he's not a good fit. He hasn't been for years. And maybe some team will convince themselves that they are going to give up real value to take on Jonathan Kuminga, something that we have not seen the execution of in 5 years.
All right, so let's stick with potential transactions there because we can't talk about basketball without at least presuming Giannis is going to go somewhere. On Prime this past Friday, Chris Haynes reported, this is quote, Giannis insisted that the 10 and 15 overall record makes him want to run through the wall and make things work rather than push for a trade. Where are you on the Giannis front?
Well, Giannis is hurt, so I don't know when Giannis is playing basketball again for anybody, let alone the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis has to get healthy. When he gets healthy, I imagine the Milwaukee Bucks record is going to be poor. I think that it probably serves both sides best to see what they can explore. But also, my point with Giannis, it's not easy to build a team around Giannis. Like, we just got to be real about that. The Milwaukee Bucks have only won playoff series with one head coach and a guy who has been fired twice since the Milwaukee Bucks last won a championship. You have to have the right kind of center, and you saw Milwaukee was so desperate to, update their Brook Lopez archetype by getting Miles Turner. And not that Miles has been bad, but that move reeked of desperation. We saw it right away there. And then you need the right kind of defenders, the right kind of secondary scorers. What kind of team is giving up the pieces that it needs to trade for Giannis and still has a team left that can suit Giannis's unique talents? Like, Giannis is very good individually. How a team can be built around him and still be able to contend, especially considering Giannis's increasing durability concerns, I don't see a team like that. I can totally see Giannis staying just because there's no team that wants to upend what they probably have in the middle of this season.
And I'm glad you brought that up because I think it's so easy for all of us as sports fans to play armchair GM and say, just trade him to the Knicks. And it's like, okay, yeah, that sounds great and everything, but how is that transaction happening? In your opinion, what is it going to take for Milwaukee to say, okay, yes, we are comfortable moving on from the face of our franchise? What's a trade package that could be put together that would make this move worthwhile for the Bucks?
Bucks need good players and good picks. Like, the Bucks don't have a good draft pick situation either. And if you're trading him to a team that Giannis is basically going to pick for them, then guess what? You're not getting good picks in the short term from that team because they're going to be competitive at the very least and contenders at the very most. So, like, you need picks and players so that the Bucks can justify the money spent on guys like Miles Turner to compete in the Eastern Conference and to still be good. Like, you're not trading Giannis to bottom out. And the record speaks for itself. Like, the Bucks aren't a good team right now, but the Bucks are in a situation where, if Giannis gets back, if you can scratch out some wins, maybe you're in the playing tournament, you can pretend like you're competitive. I just feel like the intersection of what other teams need and can give up and what the Bucks need to make it work. I don't love the intersection of it happening this year. But things are so bad with the Bucks record, and Giannis is in a point where it's like he's playing this well, but he can't stay healthy enough to prevent the Bucks rolling out the roster that they're rolling out, where we're going to talk about this until the trade deadline passes.